Hey, there we go, sir. Now
Yeah,
we're live.
baby.
We're live. We're doing it again. We're doing it
figured
again.
it out. We figured it out.
Sorry, guys.
So,
It's our
yeah,
first
nice.
time
Yeah, it looks
using
good. It looks good.
Yeah, it's their first time using this streaming software. So he went live and was talking to no one for like 10 minutes.
Well, we were talking to ourselves.
We're talking amongst ourselves. Kim
Oh
is
my.
watching us on Facebook.
Yeah. So we'll do listen, folks, the VHS show, formerly known as VHS Picks of the Week, myself, Sky Tunes of the Analog Basement, Jon Cross, the Be Kind Movie Vault, go down to the shop, New Milford, Connecticut, at the Hunt, and we are here to talk all things VHS, retro gimmicks, you know the deal. Johnny did a magnificent spiel on his new venture, the PM Entertainment Podcast, which is making the waves, friend. You want to say a few more things before we jump right into it? Since we had our difficulties tonight.
So we had a lot of technical difficulties, but we're here now. But no,
all that matters.
We had a bit of a hiatus, bunch of different stuff. We got busy, we got sick, we got better. But during that whole time, I started up the PM Entertainment Podcast, which is, well, you'll remember from VHS Picks of the Week, our previous iteration of this show.
Oh, yeah.
That I would often talk about a PM Entertainment film. And I tried not to make the PM Entertainment film my pick of the week every week, but I'm such an enthusiastic fan, and I've been collecting them on VHS. And I thought to myself, well, what can I do with this? What I really wanted to do was make a documentary, but I was like, well, I don't have any money to make a documentary, and I don't know if there's an audience. So what I do know how to do is to do a podcast and get interviews and all that good stuff, because I've been doing it for decades. So I said, right, let's go ahead. Let's do a podcast. Let's get it going. And I was still kicking around the idea. I didn't know quite how I was going to do it, how often I was going to do it, what movies I was going to cover. But I thought, well, I want to nail down the Instagram and the Facebook. Let's just get those pages done. I thought I built them privately. I thought like only I knew they were there. I didn't share them with anyone. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. And then out of nowhere, Don the Dragon Wilson, and we are friends on Facebook, Don and I. But Don the Dragon Wilson, who is star of many a PM Entertainment movie and is a world famous kickboxing champion and star of
some of the champions of the sport, Benny the Jet Orquez, Don Dragon Wilson.
Don the Dragon Wilson, man. I don't know how many world titles he has, but it's over 10. Put it that way. And he shared it on his page and said, apparently a PM Entertainment Podcast is coming soon. Check it out, people. Nice. And suddenly I was like, well, shoot, now I have to do it.
Donnie forced you into it.
Donnie forced me into it. So, we're on our fifth episode. We have done a lot of different interviews with people behind the scenes. We've spoken to both the P and the M of PM Entertainment, along with many of their people, the most exciting of which is that I got to speak to Spiro Rosatos, who is the stuntman and stunt coordinator most people will know from the Fast and Furious franchise, but he cut his teeth, made his bones, whatever you want to say, not only in the world of PM Entertainment, but in the world of low-budget horror, stuff like the Maniac Cop franchise, stuff like that. So he's worked with my boy Bill Lustig, but then he went on to PM Entertainment. I got to have a great conversation with him.
Nice.
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm doing these big, long interviews and then sprinkling them throughout the show. So if in one of the interviews they mention a sequence like Spiro gave us behind the scenes of the movie Rage, and in Rage, Gary Daniels is hanging off the top of a skyscraper and there's helicopters and gunfire and lots of crazy stunts. And Spiro gave us the behind-the-scenes story of that whole sequence. So I'll drop that into the Rage episode, but I'll save other Spiro bits for other movies. So that's kind of what we're doing. The PM Entertainment Podcast, wherever podcasts are, check it out. If you love VHS, you love the PM Entertainment Podcast, my friend.
Spectacular. And yeah, man, when we were up. So you and I have seen each other since the last recording of the show formerly known as VHS Picks of the Week, now the VHS Show. And we went out to JR's Spooky Shack over here in Hudson to meet Joe Bob Briggs and Darcy the Mail Girl, host of The Last Drive-In on Shudder, formerly the host of Monster Vision on TNT and a few other things. And while we were in line you get to know some people while you're waiting in line for these things, as you do. You know, people, like-minded folks, get into big conversations. And some broski on his way out of the shop was like, "Hey, did I hear you mention the PM Entertainment podcast?" And there you go. Found a fan who downloaded the second episode so that he could listen to it on his way up to the Spooky Shack.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, we should give a shout out to JR Spooky Shack. What a day, man. That was such a fun time. We met some great people.
It was a great turnout, too.
Great turnout. Big shout out to Eric and Dave. I don't know if they ever followed me on Instagram, but big shout out to Eric and Dave, who we met online. We talked the hind legs off a donkey with those guys. It was great.
The whole time.
Yeah, as you say, this little guy came out the store and he was like, "Hey, you're the PM." He said, "I just downloaded the second episode to listen to on the way up here." And I was, man, I don't know. I felt like Elvis Presley for a minute. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's great. So talk to me, brother. What have you been watching lately?
All right, man. Well,
VHS, this can be DVD, Blu-ray, whatever you prefer, whatever you've been doing. It can even be streaming if you want.
I'm going to keep it strictly VH, my friend. I'm going to keep it old school. I'm going to rock it old school. We have lost, since last we talked, we've lost some titans of the VHS world, my friend.
Yeah.
And two such titans I would like to highlight on this very show this evening. Yeah. The first one being, again, associated with PM Entertainment, but these two films are not PM. They are other output. But that would be the legendary curly-haired, goggly-eyed bastard, wonderful bastard, beautiful bastard, splendid bastard, bastard meant in the English way, which is kind of a lovable rogue, let's say. And that would be Senor Wings Hauser.
Yeah.
I watched not one but two of his movies, which are actually part one and part two, although on VHS they're called different things. That would be Frame Up.
Wow.
And Deadly Conspiracy. So Deadly Conspiracy is also technically Frame Up 2. Obviously, this one's got a bit faded in the sun. Sure. But Frame Up, I love the picture. You got the prison bars behind him, and you got Wings with a gun and his lady behind him with a gun. And it's a great cover. It's a fantastic
great cover.
And then we got Deadly Conspiracy. My favorite thing about this is the looming John Saxon. Like anytime you can have a big looming John Saxon, you know you're in for fun. Yep. But basically, this is part one and part two. And I would say it's middle of the road Wings. I'm not going to say that it is prime Wings. I'm not going to tell everyone to necessarily rush out and dig up Frame Up and Frame Up 2 Deadly Conspiracy. Although I do think they are knocking about Tubi or Plex or one of those, so you might be able to find them there. Mm-hmm. Essentially, he plays the new sheriff of a small town, and in typical A-Team fashion, the small town has, some business owners, a bit like Roadhouse, I guess. Yeah. Business owners who want to just muscle their way in and use the town for their own advantage.
Of course.
And there are a bunch of kids. In the first one, it's a bunch of kids who, during a hazing prank, accidentally kill a guy, try and frame another guy for it. Wings Hauser ain't buying their bullshit. Wings is like, "I don't believe you. You're a rich kid. You know, these are all the Abercrombie and Fitch crowd." Yeah. And with the blonde, blue-eyed Aryan guys, I think your dad's probably pulling some strings for you. So Wings goes and figures out what's been going on because he doesn't believe that the mild-mannered guy who they're trying to frame it on had anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. But then just to add weird insult to injury, the mild-mannered guy who was being framed up, him and his girl who are trying to escape, they just want a life for themselves. They hate this small town. They just want to head out west and have a good time. They get attacked by two escaped bank robbers. So two things are going on at once, and Wings is running around trying to solve the whole thing. And it gets a little exploitation here and there. There's a little some graphic stuff that I won't go into, but it's interesting. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was kind of like an R-rated A-Team, but minus minus the action that the A-Team had. Like if it had the action that the A-Team had, if they'd flipped a car, Scott, if they just flipped a car, or shot off a bunch of machine guns without actually killing anyone, I would have been fine with it. As it is, it was a little slow moving, but I still went on and watched the second one. The second one is basically just John Saxon is a big asshole and Wings Hauser has to bring him down. So it's a lot of like, small town sheriff against kind of moneyed, assholes, basically.
Yes.
Which, look, that's the world we're now living in. So
yeah.
We are the plucky small town, small business people going up against the big evil empire.
Yep.
So while not classic Wings, I have to say, in honor of Wings, I will never stop loving the man, and I will never stop collecting him. He is a straight-to-VH icon.
Good stuff.
And I'm naming him that right now. He is the VHS Show's first icon of VH.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good, that's a good little segment. We will say. Well, not really, maybe not a segment, but.
So what you been watching, Toomey?
I got two for us tonight. First, I would like to say that I miss being able to just throw on cable TV and flip around and see what movies are on.
Right.
So I've been watching lately this past week, being lazy. Pluto TV. Have you ever done Pluto TV before?
I have, my friend. I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the last couple of nights on Pluto TV, I've just been jumping on there and seeing what they've been playing, and I caught the end of the Blob remake this past week.
Nice.
I watched the beginning of Fright Night. They've been playing Urban Legend a little bit, so they've been playing some decent stuff on their live channels. Last week I popped in the Wayne's World 4K. Wayne's World is probably my favorite SNL movie. I'm sure that other people would have different choices, but for me, Wayne's World is tops. And for VH, I recently, for only the second time, watched John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, which, despite being a film that is, I called it the death knell of John Carpenter's directing career. I mean, he only directed one more movie after Ghosts of Mars. And while Ghosts of Mars...
We don't count the Ward.
No.
It's the Ward is, I thought after watching Village of the Damned, which, look, I love John Carpenter. All hail John Carpenter. He just got his star on the Walk of Fame. I do not in any way want to denigrate the wonderful Mr. John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. I will forever love him and be a fan. However, the Ward was complete pish, and
dog shit.
Village of the Damned was also, considering it has a fantastic cast, Village of the Damned, fantastic cast, Christopher Reeve, Mark Hamill. It's got Meredith Salinger. It's got a great cast, but it's pish. It's not good. It's very slow. It's very boring. It doesn't go well. However, I think Ghosts of Mars after Village of the Damned is sort of a sort of return to form. Not quite, because he's working with a much lower budget, but it's still a return to form to some extent.
Yeah, and it has a good cast. I mean, Natasha Henstridge, Ice Cube, who does not speak very kindly of this movie, to be honest with you. Pam Grier, Jason Statham, and it's kind of a mishmash of a few of his other movies that were bigger hits for him, but I feel like he came out and said it later, but it was made like in a very tongue-in-cheek kind of style. He says he didn't make it or intend for it to be a serious, like, scary horror film. I mean, it's so obviously not, so I don't, you know what I mean? So I believe him 100%. I think he just set out to make kind of a fun, crazy science fiction action horror movie, and that's what it is. So good by me. Ghosts of Mars. I enjoyed it.
And also it's got K&B effects.
Yep.
So the special makeup effects are fantastic. You get Carpenter regular Peter Jason in there. It's just, in general, it's a good time. I'm not sure what's happening and why we're not getting the comments coming through StreamYard, but I'm looking on Instagram, and Frankie Two Tapes joined and said that he just watched Carpenter, insanely fun flick. And Kim was agreeing with you, said that she misses cable movies too.
Yep.
So I'll introduce Kim to Pluto. Also, our TVs, which are Samsung, have Samsung Live TV, and they are very much like Pluto. They have the movie hub and the horror movie hub and the action movie hub. You can like click around and watch movies on there, and that's on our TV.
I like not having to, I don't know. I like not having to make the decision. Like, show me what you're playing right now, and then I'll figure out if I want to, watch it or not.
Right. Well, because it's what I find with streaming, and I talk about this a lot with the Be Kind Movie Vault, my store. I always say that browsing is better than streaming, and what I mean by browsing is better than scrolling.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is when you are limited, when someone goes, like, here are the horror movies we have. You can only watch one of these horror movies. Like when I go to my shelf behind me, right? And I've got tons of movies and Blu-rays and VHS and whatever. But I still, when it comes to genre, action, Western, horror, whatever it is you want to watch, I only have what I have. So I have to pick something. The trouble with streaming is streaming makes you think that everything is out there somewhere. So what you go is unless you have a particular film in mind, what I end up doing is I end up scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and like adding to my watch list, adding to my watch list, adding to my watch list, and then going back to my watch list and going, I actually don't want to watch any of those anymore, and it's now 3 a.m.
Or what I was going to say, or if you do get in the mood to watch one of the movies you saved, and it's maybe it could be like a month or two later, and you realize, oh, I saved that. You go back to watch it. It might not be there anymore because that particular platform lost the rights for it.
Exactly. So, no, I always find streaming, the thing streaming didn't solve for is sort of the happy accident that you would get when you go to a video store, or the kind of unexpected pick you would find when you, I don't know, if you have this many movies, you go up to your movie library and you go, oh, yeah, I remember I own this now. And, know, because I don't have a catalog in my head of every movie I own. But what I think Pluto TV, Samsung TV, there's another one as well that does like a cable kind of thing. I think they have bridged the gap a little bit, and have sort of found a way to both have on demand. Because that's what I love about Pluto is if you see a movie streaming, and you miss the beginning of it, you can go, oh, I'll find it on demand and go back and watch it like that. Which I think is a very cunning, clever way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, brother, talk to me about your pick of the week. VHS pick of the week.
My VHS pick of the week was, again, in honor of another fallen legend. And we can't exactly say that this man is a VHS icon, although obviously a lot of his movies came out on VHS. Because I think he does at this point transcend VHS because he was such an unbelievable legend. And much in the same way that when David Lynch passed, we suddenly went back and reevaluated the films that David Lynch had given us. I think when Val Kilmer passed recently, we all did the same. We went back and went, holy shit, there was a run there when Val Kilmer was just banger after banger after banger after banger. You know what I mean? Whether it's, and everyone has their own favorites. They have Real Genius or Top Secret or Top Gun or Tombstone or whatever. And, The Doors, whatever. You pick your Val Kilmer movie. Well, dude, I went to my VHS because I knew I had a few random Val Kilmers knocking around that I hadn't seen yet. And I thought, well, better put one in because old Val's passed, so I want to honor Val. Dude, I found Thunderheart. And I don't know if you've seen Thunderheart.
I've never seen it.
Oh, dude, it is a strong recommend for me. It is a strong recommend for me. It is It is those. You remember when they used to make like adult thrillers, and I don't mean like erotic thrillers. I mean thrillers that were they didn't talk down to you. They weren't
Yep.
cheeseball. They were like adult written, adult acted. They had adult themes. They were intelligent. They were verbal. They were, they were just great movies, man. Like you could just sit down and watch them. Well, this is one of those movies. I mean, this could have been a documentary or something. It's really, really great. It's a movie about Val Kilmer is a FBI agent who is like 1/16 Native American. And there have been a series of murders and unrest on a Native American reservation. And the FBI who have like a local guy there who's sort of been working by himself, played by Sam Shepard. The FBI go, it's all getting a bit unrestful. There's a bunch of guys there's a bunch of Native Americans who want to keep the reservation very, very traditional. There's another bunch of Native Americans who want to like move into the 20th century and like figure out how to maintain traditions while also like moving forward. And then there are a gang of like rednecks, essentially American rednecks, who are trying to like who are hassling them and sort of whatever. So there's all this big powder keg about to go off. Val Kilmer gets sent there as really a publicity stunt because they're like, do we have any FBI agents who have any Native American blood at all? And Val Kilmer gets pulled out of the hat as having like 1/16 Native American or whatever. Anyway, he gets there, and at the beginning of the movie, and this is what was quite kind of surprising because you always expect. This is why I say it's kind of an adult thing because it kind of deals with lots of stuff from Val Kilmer's point of view. He shows up and he's just another white thug FBI agent. He doesn't want to deal with his Native American heritage. He doesn't want to deal with his father, who is sort of this. He was the Native American bloodline, is his father's bloodline, and he doesn't want to deal with that because there's a backstory there that you don't find out till later. And he shows up and he's just being brusque and rude and kicking the shit out of people. And he doesn't believe any of the mysticism or of the traditions or any of that stuff. He's just poo-pooing it all. And then you've got the phenomenal Graham Greene, who's just a fantastic Native American actor, just incredible. He's great. They filmed it on a real reservation. It's all real Native American actors who are all fantastic in the movie. It really shines a light on, the part of America no one wants to talk about or has ever wanted to talk about. And throughout the movie, they're investigating this murder with the backdrop of all this stuff going on. And Val is slowly being kind of pulled in to the Native American way of life and starting to listen a little more and starting to respect them a little more. And over time, he starts to have these flashbacks and dreams and thoughts about his family and his father and what happened at Wounded Knee and other stuff that his bloodline was involved in. And it's sort of, it's a fantastic movie because on the surface, it's a murder mystery with a backdrop of like racial tensions. And then if you want to look deeper into American institutions, the treatment of the Native Americans, the poverty that's on the reservations, et cetera, all of that is explored as well. And from what I read up on, because I mean, it's not a well-known movie. It's not one that I'm aware of has like a making of or EPK or anything. But from what I read up on, I believe that the Native American population did respect the movie. They really liked the fact that they used real Native American actors. And so I think it is on the up and up. I don't think it was one of those that kind of got shit on for being too simplistic. I think it is one that is respected. But either way, dude, Val Kilmer in this proves himself time and time again. What a complex actor. And I never would have said that 20 years ago, but since I became an adult and I've started watching more and more of his performances, he has a real depth to him, and it's in the heart. It's a big, strong recommend from me, my friend.
Excellent. Real quick, Beefy Beard 22.
That's Gary Hill, my friend. That's
all right. He said a couple of things when you were talking about your Wings Hauser flicks. He said Wings and Lady Gun, a winner either way.
Yeah.
Then he said, "How's Wing's ratchet skills though? Can he build a parade float with a flatbed truck?" Uh, then he said, "It's
What's that
hard."
got to do with Gary? I don't get the reference.
I don't know. He said, "It's hard for me to not love Ghosts of Mars with the cast that it has, but it is a mess." And he said that I think Romero and Carpenter were having a competition who had the best Big Daddy character. So
Oh,
thank
okay, I
you.
see that. That's sort of a fair comment. I get
Yeah.
that, Gary.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
I
Gary.
don't agree.
Thank you, Gary, for participating.
Thanks, bud.
All right, brother. I got my pick of the week.
Hit us
Not a
with it.
whole lot to say about this one.
Okay.
It was pretty bad. So I'm in a couple of like VHS Facebook groups, and somebody posted about this movie, and it sounded kind of intriguing. So I bought a copy of it on eBay, and it is a movie that came out in 1987. It is called Remote Control. It stars Kevin Dillon, and I won't say that it stars Jennifer Tilly because, spoiler alert, she's not in it very long. But
Is it like the horror version of Zapped or something? What is it?
no, so Kevin Dillon plays like this, kind of tough guy, kind of I don't know. I guess you could kind of say he's kind of a tough guy, ladies' man, who works at the local video store and discovers that the hot videotape of the time, and the tape is called Remote Control. That's the name of the movie.
Okay.
When people watch this movie, it somehow makes them want to kill. So, long story short, he uncovers a big alien conspiracy. The aliens are the ones that are distributing this videotape. And I don't know exactly what their end game was supposed to be. But Kevin Dillon teams up with this aerobics girl, and they find the studio where they make this movie, and hijinks ensues.
I feel like
ridiculous.
I feel like I've seen this. Either that, or I feel like one of the Evil Dead games used this idea of like broadcasting something that would make people kill each other.
It's not too different from They Live in some respects.
Right.
I guess you could say maybe almost a combination of They Live and the Ring, or Ringu, I guess, if you fancy that. But I mean, it came out, the Vista organization. This was released on International Video Entertainment is the distribution. So classic. This particular tape came from Video Update on Buckingham Road in Richardson, Texas. That was where it's a former video rental.
Yeah, I love seeing those stickers and seeing how far the tape is.
It's cool. It's fun. They've got the Please Rewind tape sticker on it.
I don't know if any of these. This was a Blockbuster one. Deadly Conspiracy was a Blockbuster one, and Frame Up. I don't know if that was from anything. No, Frame Up is a promotional copy.
Wow.
So Frame Up was never actually put out on the shelves, but it was one of the it was one of the ones that was sent out to a VHS store to see if they wanted to carry it. Gary in the chat now on Facebook, so I can see it now.
Oh yeah,
is saying he just got Gore Vidal's Billy the Kid on Laserdisc featuring Val. He didn't know it existed, and I didn't know it existed till he mentioned it. I didn't know Gore Vidal made any movies, but there we go. Dude, your mic, you're brushing your mic.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, good, no worries.
I was doing my zipper.
Yeah, it's all good. Gary then said he watched Remote Control on cable tons. He said he proudly owns that on Laserdisc as well. Gary is a big Laserdisc guy.
Lasers, nice.
Time to like talk Laserdisc. He said Jeff Lieberman makes fun things. You were a little down on it, but I'm feeling like I should at least check it out so I can kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a watch. It's it just I don't know, it didn't blow my hair back, but
right.
It's
I understand.
Deborah Goodrich. I think that's the woman who was in Just One of the Guys. She's the blonde that whatever. Yeah, whatever.
It's late because we started 15 minutes later. So yeah.
Somebody named Mort Engelberg was involved with this movie. Although I can't see what his credit is, I'd have to look it up. But yeah, it looks like it was written and directed by Jeff Lieberman. So
good. Frankie, 2 tapes on the Instagram, still watching. He said he just watched The Stuff for its 40th anniversary and sounds like similar themes to Remote Control. So Larry Cohen's The Stuff. What a great pull.
Love that.
Yeah, definitely love myself some Larry Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one plays more with, I would say that's probably more in line with They Live in terms of it playing with the idea of corporations not giving a crap about the little guy.
Yeah. Controlling the little people.
Right. And the stuff, eating the stuff and it causing, I mean, everyone remembers because I think they even used it on the back cover, but Garrett Morris when he eats the stuff and his whole face just elongates and his head goes back and he starts. And then there's this great sequence in the stuff where a guy gets like splatted up onto a wall by the stuff and he's like all up onto a wall and the stuff is pouring on him. It's fantastic. I absolutely adore the stuff. So Frankie, 2 tapes, good call. Excellent. On the stuff, my friend. It definitely plays well with the whole idea of They Live, Remote Control, that kind of stuff. Ringu, as you said, Tombs, all good things. Well, it's great to see Frankie 2 tapes is new to me. So lovely to see you on here, Frankie. Thanks so much for joining.
Yes,
VHS Toys joined, and VHS Toys, good chap. I follow him on on Instagram and share his stuff often to my stories. And has said that he wants to come up to the store. So cool to hear from VHS Toys. Kim was watching, and then Is Your Name Slimeball was on.
I don't know who that is, but
Frankie cool. 2 tapes is a CT local VHS collector.
All right.
Great.
Has he been to the shop yet?
Have you been to the shop yet, Frankie? That's what we want to know. Have you been to Be Kind Movie Vault? Have you picked anything up from the Be Kind Movie Vault? Oh, and local CT filmmaker Gorman Beshard just joined, who made Psychos in Love.
Nice.
So that is a fantastic movie, which is being shown, I just found out, at the Mahonic Drive-In in PA.
Cool.
And it's being shown as part of their VHS Fest in July, I believe. So a big shout out to Gorman. I'm going to try and make it down to the Mahonic for VHS Fest because the lineup is fantastic. Yeah. And I love the idea of seeing some VHS up on the big screen. Frankie says that he is he's a big fan. He's been meaning to get to the store, but he will need to soon. Frankie, come on down. Hit me up on Insta before you come on down to the store, sir, and I'll make sure I'm there so we can hang and chat tapes.
Chat the tapes. Tape heads. All right. Cool, brother. Successful re-entry into the live streaming realm. The VHS Show, friends. Follow me, The Analog Basement, Be Kind Movie Vault, After Movie Diner. Head on down to the shop down there. And we decided every other week we would do this, right?
Yeah, so we're going to come live to you every other week. It will be at 9:30 normally. We started a bit late because of technical issues.
Yeah.
But next time it will be 9:30 on the dot because we've got to figure it out.
We got it all. We got it all. all ready to roll. So,
but yes, we will be coming live in 2 weeks. So not next Thursday, but the week after. It
cool.
just allows me, with everything going on and everything Scott has going on,
Yeah.
to take a breath and not go crazy with this. We'd
Yeah.
love this to run and run.
Sure.
And if it's going to run and run, I can't burn out because I've got other stuff. Or the PM Entertainment Podcast. If you haven't listened yet, check out the PM Entertainment Podcast. And Scotty, what have you got going on, bud? What can they do for you?
Not a heck of a lot. I am gonna know. So for
a new cinema show or something.
Yeah, for those that are local to me, I'm teaming up with JR from JR Spooky Shack, and he and I are going to be we're programming a horror film screening series at a local theater out here in Maynard, Massachusetts. Our first screening is on June 8th, which is a Sunday evening. It's a mystery screening. You do not know what the movie is going to be until it plays up on the big screen. So we are very excited, and I'm happy to be co-hosting and co-programming that with JR. So
nice.
That's my other venture that I'm working on. And who knows what else?
Just to end it on a positive note, Gary Hill, my buddy, my brother from another mother, my bearded friend, he says, Scotty, if anything, your tracksuit game is on point.
Boom.
All right.
Thank you kindly.
Okay, guys, we will see you back here in 2 weeks from tonight, 9:30 p.m. Talking Tapes.
Talking Tapes. Thanks for joining us on tonight's VHS show. We'll see you next time.